Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co., and this is your news and weekend review, except not really on either of those. If it's not clear already from the way I sound, I'm a little under the weather and not feeling 100% up to, well, everything, frankly. I've been playing less games, I've been filming less videos, I've just been, yesterday I spent nearly the whole day in bed. It was astonishing. I spent an extra 8 hours of sleep in bed. It was intense. I don't know. It's draining. I'm already on the up. I'm over the hump, I guess. I'm feeling significantly better today than I was yesterday. I'm hoping that trend continues because this current way I am isn't sustainable. I was supposed to play Marrakesh today. That didn't happen. We'll see what does happen. And to that end, this news and weekend review will be shorter than usual. It's not going to follow the usual structure at all. I'm not going to talk about the videos I did this week. I'm not going to talk about the games I played. I'm just going to briefly talk to you about, well, stuff. There will still be 2 videos going up later today because the good news is I film most of my videos in advance by now, which means if I get sick for a few days, with the exception of videos like this, you don't even have to realize that much. Unless you watched the live video this past week, in which case you might have heard me then as well. This voice thing isn't really the problem. The problem is just the constant drain of fatigue and feeling tired, but it's all good. And again, like I said, this video will be shorter and slightly less coherent than usual. And to all of those of you who are like, but Alex, take a break, rest, give yourself a, I appreciate it, really I do. The problem is if I don't do a video, me doing a 5-10 minute video, that will be me taking a break. Me not doing a video without any context or warning is well, what happened or didn't happen, and not that it has to be a big deal. There was one time about 3 months ago where there were no videos that went up on Saturday. That was a mistake. I accidentally scheduled them for the wrong day. And that was the first time in 2.5 years that there hasn't been a daily video. But it is what it is. We are not talking about that Saturday. We're talking about today. Today's Saturday. What's going on? So, a few basic things going on. First of all, I'm supposed to be playing Marrakesh in general, like I mentioned already. I also got Great Western Trail Argentina, which I've had set up on my table for a day and a half now, hoping to play it, except I got sick and that kind of got in the way of things. I still managed to play some games, not nearly as much as I usually like to, but it's still enough to remind myself that I'm alive and well. Yesterday I got 4 or 5 boxes, and I went to sleep without opening them. That's how sick I was. I was just not up for it. Yesterday was bad. Today, for all that my voice sounds like this, today I've actually gotten work done. I've started to catch back up. I started to film videos. This is not the only video I'm filming today. There's one more video, which is the one for yesterday, which I think went up yesterday. Basically, the upcoming Kickstarters and crowdfunding campaigns for January. I filmed that, and I also sound like this, because that's how it's going to be. I've been having tea, I've been having orange juice, I've been doing all the things that I need to do to pretend that I'm getting better again, and I will get better. I also just got Battle of the Ancients, which I'm really looking forward to. That's one that Quacklope, Jesse from Quacklope, put me onto a while ago when we were doing our podcast. He put me onto Battle of the Ancients, The Dark Ventures, and had a lot of good things to say about it, and so I got it. I'm very intrigued as to whether I'll like it or not. It has a lot of ways to play, which is going to be a compelling aspect of it, but I have to play that, and a whole bunch of other things. And we'll get to all of that soon enough. Past that, the topic of the week this week was supposed to be me being in the content creator thing for 3 years now. I started my channel December of 2019, before COVID began, right when COVID was just starting to be a thing that we vaguely heard of, and I started my channel before it ever made its way to the US in any way, shape, or form. And I started doing daily videos around the time that COVID had everyone home from work effectively. It's been 3 years, and I'm very grateful for just what my life has become in the past 3 years. The opportunities I have, the people I get to talk to, the people I get to meet, the companies I get to interact with, the games I get to play. Recently, a week and a half ago, on our live videos, Meg, Devin, and myself did a video about the pros and cons of being in the hobby, of being a content creator in the hobby. And there are cons, to be very clear. You can go into the video and watch if you want, and I'm not here to complain in any way, shape, or form. What I am here to say is that the pros vastly outnumber the cons. The things I get to do, the people I get to interact with, the friends I've made, some of my best friends. I would say, if you're thinking of my best friends in life, half of my best friends in life are people who I've become friends with through this hobby. There are a lot of good people who I've gotten to know. Ironically, people who I like, they're not necessarily larger people or this, that, or the other, just people I got to meet through the nature of what we're doing and through the interactions I've had with a variety of people. And I'm very grateful for it. More so than anything else, I think it's those people. I think it's those people and those relationships I've built that I am most grateful for. Don't get me wrong, it's very cool that I get to cover games from Awakened Realms, from Come On. It's very cool that I have a job at GameFound. These are all very cool things to me. These are prospects and opportunities that I never realized I would ever have. It's just very, very cool to be in this hobby in such a all-encompassing way. A long time ago when I started Board Game Co., the website, the store, part of the reason for that was to become more involved in the hobby. To become more involved in this hobby that I fell in love with 12 years ago. 11 years ago. 12 years. 11 years ago. And that never really did it for me. That was a way of being more involved in the hobby, but not in a way that was fun or engaging or interesting, in a way that was a lot of work and took a lot of fun out of the hobby in different ways. And content creation has been the exact opposite of that. Content creation has absolutely been something that I look forward to on a regular daily basis. The fact that when I'm sick, I'm still sitting here putting out a video because I like what I do. Because I like being able to talk to you. Because I like being able to just have a conversation. I like being able to just tell you what's on my mind and to just in a gravelly voice like this. My voice really should get better. I don't know why it's like this right now. It doesn't even hurt. It doesn't hurt at all, by the way. It just sounds like this. Yes, I have tea. Specifically throat coat, which I've heard good things about, but just seems to be tea as far as I'm concerned. But anyways, yeah. I'm very grateful for the past 3 years. The iterations that things have gone through, the progress I've made as a channel, the fact that I've gone from, the fact that I'm now able to hire people and work with people, with friends, and to do more fun things in a space that I love. The fact that conventions have become now part of my regular routine, an opportunity to continue to go see, meet up with friends, and just continue to build and deepen and grow relationships. I can't talk. I really can't. There's so much joy in this hobby. However you choose to engage with it, there's so much joy. Whether you get your kicks by just backing Kickstarters, by watching videos of other content creators, by reading rules for games you never play, or by playing games. However you choose to engage with it, I think this hobby is an incredible hobby. It's very wholesome in what it does. It's wholesome in the fact that it brings people together. It's wholesome in the nature of the... I'm not anti-screen time. I play plenty of video games. I recently got back into Overwatch, playing Overwatch 2 now. I'm not against video games by any means, but I do think there's something nice and more together-ish about playing games at a table with others. Or solo, for that matter. Like Slay the Spire is a video game, a board game that I recently backed, and the reason I backed it is because I have the video game, yeah, but I like something about the tactile nature of setting it up on a table, whether it's solo or with other people. I like the hobby. I've been in and out of hobbies my entire life, to a large extent. I remember, I think my first, I don't even remember how far back this goes, but like, I was always the kid who ran lemonade stands and stuff like that. And then when I got into things for fun, I got into Guild Wars. I was into Magic the Gathering, in Warhammer, Magic itself, like magic tricks, juggling, drawing, Bob Ross painting. I've done tons of hobbies over the years, and I've enjoyed them to a variety of degrees. But only one of them has lasted 12 years for me, and that's board games. Every other one lasted years at most. Guild Wars was maybe 4 years. Magic the Gathering was maybe 4 years. The rest of them less than that. I mean, there's residual impacts. I can still do a magic trick. I can still do sleight of hand. But actual engagement in a hobby, for the most part for me, is something that lasts 2 to 4 years. Board games have lasted 12 years for me. There's something meaningful about that. There's something meaningful about this hobby, about the just walls of board games around me. It's a mess behind the camera, don't get me wrong. Like behind the camera over there, it's a mess. This basement is constantly a mess. But I like being surrounded by these games that I enjoy. The memories they build. The people I play them with. Even before content creation, there are friends I've made through playing board games, relationships that I value. I think it's a really cool hobby. Speaking of which, this past week on the weekly live, Devin, Meg, and myself went over a bunch of gateway games in case you want gateway games to recommend to other people. One of my favorites is Baron Park. Baron Park, Canvas, Patchwork, Timeline. There's a bunch of great games out there. Codenames. There are a bunch of great games to recommend to people to pull them into the hobby. Not that you have to be someone who pushes your hobby on others. But if your basement looks like mine, I guarantee you'll get questions. And when you get those questions, you don't want to hand them Blood Rage. It's a great game, Blood Rage, but it's not the first game you want to hand them. I'm very grateful for all of you. I'm grateful that you're tuning in to watch. Today. Every other day. Tomorrow's video on the channel is going to be a large Patreon push. Filmed before I got sick, so I actually can talk normally. I appreciate any of you who choose to watch that. No pressure. Genuinely no pressure. Do what you want to do. Don't do what you want to do. It's all cool. I appreciate all of you no matter what. Every subscriber, every view, every like, comment, anyone in any way who is a part of, well, why I keep doing these, I'm grateful for. I think I'm going to wrap this up. There's a part of me who wants to keep going, but the other part of me recognizes that I'm trying not to cough and trying not to blow my nose. And so maybe it's better I call it a wraps on this one. That's your week in review. Very short. Not the usual format. It's the price of being sick. I debated whether to power through it, but I was like, you know what? We'll just do a 5-minute video and call it a day. Later today, there'll still be videos going up. You can check those out. This week, we'll have the top 100, 10 through 1 will be going up, the final 10. And a host of other things. Until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. Thank you for being here. And I hope you have a good one.